Today's world is at war with nature. Man's undesirable activities on the environment have led to climate change, one of the leading threats to human existence. The global phenomenon remains a major challenge for countries around the world. Leading the Gambia's battle against climate change is the Environment Minister Rohit John Manjang, who has one of the biggest issues on her desk, the national effort to combat climate change. Under the hot blistering sun, the Environment Minister steps on dry leaves wilted from trees which were burned down in one of the few agroforest farms in the country, belonging to one Yahya Koli of Dumbuto in West Kiang, whose farm was devastated by recent bushfires. The minister was on a damage assessment tour of communities and individuals affected by forest blazes across the country and had a stop by at Mr. Koli's farm.
This is not only a community forest, but here we are with an investor who is one Mr. Koli, who has invested huge amount into maintaining almost a 500 by 500 land space of several species of forest trees, fruit trees, for his own economic gains. And this is what we want to encourage. But again, we cannot encourage people to come and invest this amount of money into a big plan of investment to support employment and also support the environment. But when somebody is there to burn the entire land for them, it is definitely discouraging and disheartening.
It's really devastating because the harvest this year is very bad. It has deteriorated. Normally what I harvest, I think this year I'll get only maybe a quarter of it.
The Kian Dumuto native recently resettled in the village after several years spent abroad. Farmer Koli returned back home to venture into agroforestry farming, but bushfires have brought major setbacks to his trees.
I started this in 2011. This was more or less in a bush. I cut down, the unnecessary trees, leave the valley trees, and then I grow some other cashew trees and malina and a lot of, other trees which could be used for timber, and it will be very difficult to calculate exactly, but above 2,000 trees.
The damage assessment tour took the minister and her team of forestry officials and environmentalists to various community forests consumed by forest fires, causing significant ecosystem challenges and destruction to livelihoods.
Most interestingly is the issue of bushfire. We have seen that forestry and also EBA in partnership have done excellent work when it comes to maintaining our trees and also other forest activities. But bushfire is taking us one step forward, 10 steps backward. And it's definitely a concern for the government as a whole. And I think we have to look ways and means of seeing how to resolve it.
Bushfires remain a major challenge to forest restoration efforts, and experts are worried that the rise in global temperatures as a result of climate change will further complicate the fight against bushfires unless proper measures are put in place.
Temperatures as high as 40, 42, 43 now are very common. And if you keep putting on fires or the way we used to of the 70s and 60s, there is no way we can stop fires from spreading. So these are things that require change of livelihoods, change of style, but education, training, investment from all the sectors really is needed.
Having seen firsthand the magnitude of environmental damage caused by the wildfires, the Environment Minister was resigned to the fact that combating bushfires must take new fronts.
As a government, we will look into ways how to amend our laws. Some of the laws are too soft to create the right punishment that will deter people from going into such kinds of dubious activities. We will put more efforts to make sure that we look into how to manage bushfires, either by the law or also even by having also equipments to respond to any fire outbreaks in case there happens.
A sight of distress greeted the minister and her delegation in all the fire-ravaged community forests visited, with the exception of the Kunkiling forest, where a thick vegetation borders the river Gambia, showcasing one of the country's ecological beauties. But as the minister and her team drove back through the narrow bushy patch, thoughts about the safety of Kunkiling Forest linger in the air as ravaging bushfires continue to derail the country's battle to preserve biodiversity and keep climate change at bay. Jallow, GRTS News.